Okay, well, this is a 1976 Ford, and we're putting back the shifter gear indicator and putting the column assembly blinker holder back on the column. Now, I'm making this video because the problem that I was having, and I just figured it out, is getting this column back put on. So what you do is these two bolts right here. These two bolts are very frustrating to put on. You got to get the square of the bolts, the back. If you see right here, see those square bolts? That's what you're having problems with. You got to get them where they anchor onto that slot, so this column won't wiggle. So I'm trying to make a video. Well, it's pretty difficult to do. I just figured it out, but it's pretty difficult to do. What you got to do is you got to thread the bolts, thread the nuts. I can't get a good, let me wipe the camera down. I can't get a good view. Thread these nuts onto the bolt, just one or two turns. One or two turns. And what you want to do is you want to put your shifter indicator back in. That's what I did. I put it on, I figured it out, and then I forgot to put my shifter indicator in. So I had to pull this all apart again to put my shifter indicator in there. And I said, okay, I'm going to make a YouTube video because I was frustrating. I couldn't find a video to show me how to do it. I had to do a lot of research on it and figure it out. But anyways, what you want to do is you want to burly thread these bolts onto the nut, onto the square nuts. And then what you do is you pull this out, you push the nuts in, and you angle them, you push down on this bolt, on this nut. And then you get this bottom one and you push up. So you're squeezing these, and then you're pushing in at the same time. You're squeezing and pushing in at the same time. So let's see if I can do it. I don't know if I can't do it with holding the camera with one hand, but I'm gonna have to put the camera down. Let me see if I can do it. Okay, so what you do is you do that and you barely push it on. So your bolts, your nuts, and your bolt have to be flush against this column, and so you know that T-bolt is sticking all the way out, and you're trying to seat it into that slot that's in there. So make sure it's flush like that. So all you got to do, this is what I figured out. All you got to do is do that and then tighten the bolt because it's got pressure on it. So just tighten the nut, and it'll bring the column down. It'll seat it. So that's all you got to do. So let's see if I did it right this time. It's kind of frustrating. This is a frustrating job, but you want to tighten this, and it'll have like a pressure, or I don't know what's holding it, but when you tighten it, it'll bring it in, and then you go to the bottom and you tighten it. And you keep doing that. See how it's crooked, and it's gonna pull it. It's gonna pull it down. See, it's a pain in the butt, and it's kind of hard to figure out. But you got to angle them, and then you just tighten them. Oh, this didn't. It looks like okay. It looks like it's on there. I'm not too familiar with this, but I'm trying to make a video to help somebody out. I really was frustrating trying to find a video on how to do this, but yeah, it'll pull them down. So as long as The main thing is you barely have a couple turns on the nut and the bolt. You have the square bolt in there, and then you push down on this, and then you push up on this bolt, and then you slide it in. And the thing is, you want to slide those two square nutted heads into that slot. And once it's there, you let them go, and they'll fall into the slots. And then that's all you need to do is just leave it like that. It'll have pressure, and then you turn the bolts. You tighten the bolts, and it'll pull the column into the rest of the column. It'll pull the top piece of this column down. And that's the turn signal assembly. And that's what you got to do. So then you tighten this down, and it'll only tighten so far. They don't have that much thread on it. You're not gonna tighten these bolts down. And then you just move you check your shifter. Everything's good. Your shifter indicator's there. And then you go ahead and, the main reason I made this video was because this was frustrating for me, getting these two bolts in there. But then you loosen this screw. My camera's not really working good today for some reason. It's just not focusing right. And then I can't really see nothing through the camera phone. It's just not focusing. See that? Do you see that screw right there? That screw holds this piece of plastic. So what you want to do is you're gonna take that screw out, and you're gonna put this shifter letters in there, and you're gonna take that screw out, and then you're gonna put that in, and you're gonna screw it back in, just like that. So let's continue. I'll keep the video going. See if I can get this done in a timely fashion. I know it's just frustrating to be watching long videos and not really getting nothing done, but I'm trying to get this. So you take that screw out, right? There's the screw. You get your indicator letters. That's your indicator right there. That's the shifter indicator. This is the shifter display letters. That's what I call them, at least, but it's not the correct definition. But so you wanna put that in like that. See that? It's gonna slide in like that, and then you go ahead and just put your screw back in. You put your screw back in right here. I gotta put the camera down because I can't screw and hold it in at the same time. So let me put the camera down. I wish I had a camera stand. I do. As a matter of fact, I got a headgear camera that bolts to my head. So that's what I'm gonna try to figure out next time I make a video. That way I can have the camera and use my two hands. But it's frustrating trying to do it with one hand. But I do have one. I'm gonna pull it out of the shed and see if I can get it to work again, and see if I can make videos like that. But anyways, so you put the screw in like that. Let me put it in real quick. Okay, so the screw's back in. This camera's just not focusing. Sorry about that. But there's the shifter indicator and the display. Okay. And then you just put your cover on top. Your cover just goes on top, just like that. It snaps in on top. I got this from I forgot where I bought this. I think I bought the shifter indicator and all that from LMC Truck. From LMC Truck, I got that from them. It's hard to find parts for these trucks, but 76 Ford F100. So now I'm gonna continue to put the signal assembly in, and that's it. But the main reason why I made this video was for these two stubborn bolts that are really hard to get this top part of the shifter column secure. If you don't do this right, this shifter column, the assembly, the signal assembly column part, the top part of the column will wobble. It'll wobble and it won't operate right. So that's the main reason why I made this video, and I hope you guys have good luck. Thank you. Steve's Mechanics.